Have you played Titanfall?
I haven't played any more Titanfall.
No, okay.
I mean, you were there for all the gaming that I did in the last week. We had the LAN last week, and I was playing multiplayer games because I am a good LAN party citizen, and I don't sit and play single player games at a LAN party. What? I didn't.
Are you chirping me? Or
No.
Like, okay, that's just a statement. Okay. Yeah,
Oh, no. If I was chirping you, you'd know.
Yeah.
Because I'd be talking about how ridiculous it is to go to a social fucking LAN party and just sit and play Counter-Strike the whole time.
We were being social.
You could play Counter-Strike anytime.
We were being social.
You can play Counter-Strike anytime. You can't play like, Halo CE or like Midtown Madness or Worms Armageddon.
When I was playing Counter-Strike, you were like, hey, what games are you playing? Do you want to play Left 4 Dead? And I was like, yes. And you're like, okay, cool. And I was like, yeah, send me an invite. And then you played Left 4 Dead without me and didn't send me an invite.
No, there was a reason for that.
And I got invited by my friends to play Counter-Strike. So I played Counter-Strike. And I had fun.
And this guy never stops with the
and we
I
were
have
cheering
friends.
in the LAN.
Absolute show off.
You had 80 people at your house for a LAN over the weekend. Get over it.
Trying to think what percentage of them whose names I knew. Not all of them were staff. There were a lot of plus ones and stuff. Like I'm not saying I actually don't know any of the staff's names. I'm just saying
we played Pico Park.
Oh,
I didn't know. All I had ever seen were like little short clips.
Yeah, that was very frustrating.
What a brain destroying game.
He was legitimately angry.
Oh,
like
yeah.
not like guys.
Yeah, at least at
Like,
one point in time.
Guys, seriously, this is not that hard. Just if it's not your turn, don't go.
Yeah.
Just like mad. We were playing with 8 people in the theater room. It was
rough.
I gotta admit, by the time Luke started getting legitimately angry, I it wasn't even intentional, but I just naturally followed an inverse function for my unhelpfulness, or my helpfulness went down inversely with his anger.
No, because I want to give you this though. You actually did fine, because so there's we've had this conversation before. I'm not going to go too into it, but it was a conversation about like the concept of trust and adult relationships and all this kind of stuff. And I was talking about how like one form of trust is kind of like just knowledge of a person. So you like know what they're going to do. You like trust that you know what they're going to do in different scenarios. So I knew where this was headed for your brain. So I'm like, he's not going to be able to just sit in here and like keep like
focus on the mission.
Yeah, like I knew that was going to happen. So I don't know if you even noticed this, but partway through one of the matches, I noticed that you went away from everything dangerous and just started messing around in the background. And I just went back there and was like jumping around with you.
Yeah, I know that.
Because I was like, he's playing ball. He's not messing around near the dangerous stuff. He's not screwing anyone up, but he's like bored and frustrated and wants to mess with things, but he's doing it away from the danger. And I'm like, you know what?
A good boy.
That's cool. I'm going to go like support this and go hang out too. And it was like kind of fun. And I was like, all right, this is cool. I don't think that part of your brain actually torpedoed any of the attempts. I don't think. So, you know what?
I would have torpedoed the last level if your dad hadn't ruined it before I got a chance.
Yeah. I feel bad that he was the last one, but every single one of us screwed up at least one of them. So it was like, I don't know. Yeah.
We didn't complete the game because we spent like
a long time on one
half
level.
an hour, 20 minutes at least.
I don't even know.
On the last level where you have to get over all the do not touch buttons. Yeah. And there was one more leapfrog that had to happen. And it like, we were all a little low blood sugar.
Yeah.
Because the food had arrived and we were like, no, we're going to complete this level before we eat.
Yeah.
And right when we were at the exit door, like we made it. All we had to do was like walk through the door or something, or like make like one more jump or something.
It was a total of 3 jumps.
And I had decided already that if his dad made it, I was just going to hit the button. But I was through already.
You can come back out though, so like, yeah, it would have worked. Yeah, Pico Park. Yeah, that game.
Pretty fun though.
It was pretty fun until that level. That level was a little much, I think. But all the other ones
depends
were fun.
who you're playing with. I think if you're playing with 100% sweaty gamers, it would be no problem.
And if you had less potential total people.
No, I think even with 8 sweaty gamers, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yep. This is great. We do have a quick question from RCM24 in Floatplane chat. They want to know how Super Chexx went after the WAN show last week.
So something happened with Super Chexx. I don't know. Like, so we were playing for a while, and Linus was wrecking me, and I had this like slow and decent progression, and then I got to a point where
He leapfrogged me.
I leapfrogged him pretty good for a couple weeks.
2 weeks in a row, he crushed me.
Yeah, like it wasn't even that close, and I was like, all right, I'm like good now. Linus will do well, but like I'm good now. We're good. And then I don't know. He spent a week, you know how like in Dragon Ball Z, they'll have an episode where he just like screams the whole time? I feel like he spent a week just like doing that. He like he came in with his son and repaired the board. He like, that's the only thing we talked about for a week. Like he was just like, this is my whole life for a week. And then just crushed. And ever since that week,
meditation,
and it has nothing to do with the board repair. I'm just saying that he was like dialed in. That's all I'm saying by that comment. But I haven't been able to get it back since. And I don't think I'm playing worse. I think I'm playing at the same level I did when I crushed you those 2 weeks. You just went nuts. Oh man.
Well, you know what part of it
Some of the shots are absurd. Like the final shot in the 4v4 game that we did.
Oh, that was fun.
That was nuts though. The last shot, do you even remember it? It was your back right guy, short stick. There was like 3 blocks and you just bam, and it landed like top corner of the net. I was just like, you didn't even like slide up. There was just one really quick shot and you were totally confident, wasn't even phased. Like, what? I don't know, man.
It's getting to the point where people don't want to play with me.
It's nuts. There's no chance. It's like, no, oh man, I don't know.
Luke's the only one who has beaten me.
That's still cool.
So you at least get to.
And I can usually get like a game.
Yeah. Yep.
I can still often get a game, but we'll play like 5 and I only get 1. Yes, man, I don't know.
You know what it is though? You pushed me. Like, this is the thing. Like, there's an old expression, like, you can't sharpen a blade against dirt or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but you need 2 sharp things to make 2 sharp things. You know what I mean? And the reason that I, like, elevated it was because you started shutting me down. Because I was just playing intuitively before. I wasn't really thinking about it. It's the kind of thing that comes really naturally to me. There's this other hockey game we played at the LAN called Slapshot Rebound.
Yeah.
Really fun, by the way. Just utter chaos.
Very
great
fun
LAN game.
I would highly recommend playing with friends. I don't necessarily know if I'd recommend online play because there is some hyper sweaty people in online play.
They have pretty okay matchmaking. I enjoyed online play. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so Slapshot Rebound, lots of fun. I don't know what it is about my brain. But Slapshot Rebound, the way you control your character, it's like a physics-based hockey game. We played some really fun 6v6. Total chaos, because it's completely physics-based, and the way you control your character is WASD to skate.
I was losing the plot on those games near the end.
Yeah, I know. You were really mad.
Yeah.
He got pretty mad at the line. Did you even have fun?
I did. I actually had a great time.
Okay, good. But you control your stick by moving your mouse left and right, and your character rotates. And that translation of a linear movement
weird.
To a rotational action, I can't. It completely breaks my brain. Watching Ariel from the lab go from having barely touched the game to like top shelf backhand
crazy shots.
I can't even fathom it. I have probably 3 or 4 times as many hours in the game as he does, and he walks circles around me.
Out of nowhere too, because like I the 6v6 games were so chaotic that he just might not have been able to flourish there at all.
No, he was like practicing a bit. He was playing in the practice mode after that.
So what I'm saying, so we played in the 6v6 and he seemed fine. I remember his name. He was one of the better players, but like it wasn't insane or anything. And then we ended up playing, was it 3v3? As like one of the last things we did at the whole event, and he crushed. He was very clearly the strongest player. It was just like, what the?
Yeah, it was madness. And then for me, I managed to degrade.
Yeah.
In the first 6v6 game, I scored 3 goals. Like, completely dominated the game. I didn't score another goal in any of the rest of the games, the entire rest of the LAN event.
Yeah.
And that was like 6 or 7 or 8 games.
The entire rest of the LAN event?
I never scored another goal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know. My brain broke.
Not in the 3v3s at all?
Super Chexx, though.
Oh, yeah.
That game,
popped off.
I just get. It clicks. I get it. And so I wasn't really thinking when I was winning before. I was just like, hee, fun. You made me think.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Now he's terrifying.
Ah, man, I love it. It's such a good game. Such a good game.
The thing that drives me a little bit nuts is I've always been extremely defensive minded in like every game, every sport, everything that I do. So anytime that I'm in a one-on-one scenario, it takes a lot of energy to score points. It comes very natural to defend and stop points, if that makes sense. But you can't just win that way because they're probably going to get at least some amount through. So you have to counter with some amount of actual scoring. So I always struggle with the scoring side. So I only had like when I did do really well those 2 weeks, I really only had like 2 or 3 shots that I was getting in. But it was the defense. I was shutting down a lot of your goals. I would end a significant amount of games with like one against. And then I would have however many I got.
That was really frustrating.
But that's what I'm normally pretty good at. And then he learned how to shut down my shots, all of them, and also learned how to score more. And then and did that at the same time, and the score just went like, whoop, just completely.
Over 2 games, you got like 2 goals, and I got 11 or something like that.
Oh, like that's so rough. That's back to like the first time I ever played. Like I don't know. That's kind of ridiculous.
You'll get it back.
Hopefully.
See, we have this thing where any new game, I will beat Luke out of the gate if neither of us have touched it. Yeah. And then within usually about half an hour, he is absolutely destroying me at it. Probably, I think, the best example of this, like a pure gamer example of this, is Disc Jam.
Yeah.
It's kind of like volleyball. It's like somewhere in between volleyball and disc golf.
I don't even think you can play it anymore. I think it's dead now.
Yeah, I think it's completely dead. Actually, really fun.
Surprised it died. Yeah.
Sort of poorly balanced, which is why maybe part of why it died, or maybe, I don't know. There could be any number of reasons why it died. It was a free-to-play game, I think.
It costs money, and you can buy it?
Maybe you can play single player? I don't know. Anyway, Disc Jam. What makes this such a perfect example is that neither of us had ever played a game anything like it. I'd say about the only things we could have both had experience with is controlling a third-person character model and...
Yeah, and there's weird mechanics and stuff.
Super weird mechanics with like curving the disc and lobbing it and firing it hard and all this crazy stuff. And so we both used a controller before, and we both moved a character around on a screen. We both fundamentally understand, well, my goal's on my side, you need to score on it, and vice versa. I annihilated him out of the gate. Like, easy money. Within probably, our 3rd game?
Somewhere around
I think
there.
you beat me. I might have won one more after that, and then I just never won again.
Yeah.
And we played probably 20 games. Like we played it over a couple of nights. Like
and then he never wanted to play again.
And then the game shut down.
And then they did do that. So I looked it up. It is still purchasable, but all the recent reviews are telling people not to buy it because all of the multiplayer functionality is off. They turned off the multiplayer servers. They're still advertising as if they have multiplayer, and you might be able to do like Hamachi style or like VPN style networking.
Next LAN Disc Jam tournament, let's go.
Like that. So yeah, maybe it could work for like a couch co-op setting. But yeah, But the thing is, you never really cared about Disc Jam.
I thought it was really fun. I liked it.
Yeah, but you didn't care about it in the way that you care about Super Chexx.
Oh, I love Super Chexx.
Yeah, see, it's a different thing.
Super Chexx.
I also would argue. I said dexterous, and you didn't like that.
He basically called me a thief.
Should I say deft?
He called me a thief.
Should I say? And anytime there's like agility tasks, like if you look back at Channel Super Fun competitions, like what ones is Linus going to win versus what ones is Luke going to win? Like it was usually somewhat predictable.
Yeah, if it's a strength challenge, Luke will win. If it's a dexterity challenge, I will probably win.
Yeah. So and it's a lot of like this stuff. So it makes sense to me, but it doesn't mean.
So how are you so good at?
Doesn't mean I'm just going to roll
operating a game controller. See, that doesn't make any sense.
I think I have an opinion that it's I think somewhat of it is you have it built into your brain that's how this works. I think.
Dude, I try hard. I try hard.
So I learned. I had a buddy that I grew up with that we were the opposite. I would beat him at the beginning.
Really? Okay.
And I picked up that in the first matches that we'd play against each other in, he like wouldn't care at all. But he would like learn different controls or combos and stuff.
So he'd be like trying things.
And then he wouldn't tell me what they were.
What a dick.
That part was like, okay, I don't know about that. And then yeah, he would like leapfrog me because in those first 3 rounds where I was trying to play, he was just practicing and learning. He wasn't trying to play at all.
Got it.
So I don't quite do that. I'm definitely trying to win.
No, but you are a methodical.
I'm also
yes.
Yeah.
Whereas I do think I have a bit of a tendency to just play. Yeah, I don't have that kind of focus.
You care more about that winning that individual match, I think.
Oh, I definitely always care about winning the individual match. That's an interesting assessment because I think that in a game where I do have that kind of focus, I probably can compete with you. I think that if you put 50 hours into a Supreme Commander or something like that, I'd probably still beat you. Whereas depending on what it was, I think that if you put in 50 minutes, I would never be able to touch you again. Like it's just, I don't know. It just depends.
A lot of that's what I was trying to say with the like.
Yeah,
we're slightly different types though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I don't know.
It's funny because I can't get good at every RTS or anything like that. Like I can't handle the pace of Warcraft.
I think you like the mass management because you also really like Anno.
Yeah, I love Anno.
Anno, Supcom, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we supposed to be doing WAN Show After Dark? Like, what even?
To come all the way back to it, we only got halfway through this article and then didn't care about AI anymore and started talking about video games.
You're supposed to do 3 merch messages after sponsors, which was 4 segments ago, and now it's time for WAN After Dark.
Don't forget about physical games.
Physical games. Oh, yeah. Any form of gaming or competition, really.
It's an all gaming physical games.